Today I have something very exciting to share. It's more of a prophetic insight that I believe the Lord has been unfolding in my life, and it just became really clear yesterday when I watched the stats about Australia and New Zealand in regard to the coronavirus pandemic, and this is what the stats were. Australia had something like about close to 6,500 total cases, of which over 4,500 have fully recovered, so less than 2,000 that were called active cases. And of the active cases, there was only 60 people that would be regarded as serious or life-threatening. And right through this time, Australia's been tracking around about 97% that have had normal kind of flu symptoms, and 3% very, very severe, and 1% in total that have died because of that. And with New Zealand, even though they've got a smaller population, per head of population, they are tracking virtually exactly the same as Australia. Now, why do I say that? Because Australia has only got 60 current cases of less than 2,000, and they continue to track. Then Australia, within 4 to 6 weeks, will be coronavirus free and very similar to New Zealand. Why is that important? Not to give you hope, but also to let you know that 19 of the Pacific Island nations, of the very few nations that haven't had coronavirus, are the ones that have had no coronavirus. And I felt the Lord gave me an understanding. And the understanding comes from many, many prophets of old. The first one was a Portuguese prophet, and he declared the end of the earth, being Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Islands, be the great Southland of the Holy Spirit, of which the greatest revival ever would emanate out of, and then return towards Jerusalem. I don't think it's strange that so many of the non-coronavirus nations and the way that Australia and New Zealand are tracking has got a lot to do with this. There are prophets of old like Bob Jones, very significant prophet, one of the best well-known ones. He actually died in 2014. But around about a turn of this century, he actually died and was raised again from the dead. And the Lord gave him a number of years, and in those years up until his death, he prophesied about the end-time harvest to begin, just as the prophet of old over 400 years declared. People like Smith Wigglesworth that came to Australia declared exactly the same. People like Oral Roberts, who also died about a decade ago, declared exactly the same, and there are others. Church, particularly those of the nations of the great Southland of the Holy Spirit, Australia, New Zealand, and our neighbours, including the Pacific Island. This is our time. This is our time to be equipped. This is our time to move in power. This is our time to rise up and to all. And I just want to encourage you, if you're from another nation, pray for these nations that make up the great Southland of the Holy Spirit prophecy. That'll begin in the 1040 window and then go to the end of the earth, from the ends of the earth back to Jerusalem. Amazing season. We don't know how long this will be ahead, but I want to encourage us, as the Lord reminded me, be alert, be ready. Throw off every form of darkness and works of darkness. Let's run this race in fire, in power, and in glory, knowing the Lord has declared this in advance. I cannot wait, and I'm so excited in raising up the army of the end time harvesters together with many others right around the world. So join with God's army. He is the one on the front foot, and even with all that the enemy is seeking to do, God says he laughs at those vain schemes and plots, because God's will prevail. Be encouraged. Join together with other believers and join in one heart. Get ready for the end time harvesting from the end of the earth as the greatest revival that God said will come. God bless you.